The president of Network of Women with Disabilities, Lois Auta, has cried out to Nigerians to empower women with disabilities and engage them in climate change activities. 5% preservation also speaks about the negative aspects of being disabled. Speaking during a one-day stakeholders dialogue on integrating disabilities inclusion in climate change policy and programs for women and girls with disabilities held in Abuja.
One, we should include issues of women with disabilities under climate change activities in every project, in every agenda, in every policy. Our legal frameworks should encapsulate issues of women with disabilities and the impact of climate change. Then secondly, we need to plan along in all our designs. It should be universal. We should include and plan along with women with disabilities in all our activities in climate change. Then thirdly, we should empower, engage, employ women with disabilities in all our jobs and training opportunities. We did not see enough representation of women with disabilities. We want to see more representation of women with disabilities in steering committees and all other platforms they are setting up or establishing on climate change activities. We want the 5% reservation for women with disabilities in COP29, which the plans have already started. We are going to use the recommendations, the communique that is going to be developed today after today's section for follow-up with all the duty bearers which are here. Ministry of Environment, SDGs, NESRA, and all other stakeholders and duty bearers that are in the room. We are going to follow up with them.
Can you tell us the impact of climate change on persons with disabilities, especially women, and what are some of your priority needs?
Yes, the impact or the effect of climate change in the lives of women and girls with disabilities can be felt in the area of biodiversity, food insecurity, health, economics, water sanitation and hygiene, as well as social aspects such as trauma, loss of traditional lands and fishing grounds because of farmlands. Women with disabilities don't have access to farms, so their economic empowerment is reduced in the area of agriculture, and agriculture is under climate. Another way is women with albinism. The hot weather affects their skin and their eyes, so they find it difficult to come out easily like every other woman. And when it comes to priority, my recommendations are: one, we should include.
However, the consultant for Network of Women with Disabilities, Akintunde Akimolayan, exposed more on how climate change affects people with disability, also seeks climate solution.
Climate change, as we all know, affects everybody, but the persons with disabilities, they are affected more, like in a ripple effect. Some of them, it's a problem with access to facilities. And when there's climate disaster, it aggravates the problem, it worsens the problem, that it can actually sweep off, like incident like flood can sweep off the facility that they want to actually access in the first place, and they couldn't access. Some, their skin burn due to heat wave, increase. Some, it put pressure on their finances. They have to spend more to be able to adapt to the issue with climate change. And so these are the areas that needs to be looked into to make sure that they are also supported, they are prepared, and the response strategy for them to be able to cope and adjust to these crises whenever it comes to them, they are able to do. So these are some of the things we highlighted. Part of the addressing this is to make sure that persons with disabilities, especially women and girls with disabilities, have representation at decision table. And when talking about decision table, there are several policies already to coordinate climate action and climate response in the country, but have not very much mentioned persons with disabilities. They just ambiguously mention vulnerable groups. Who are the vulnerable groups? Those were not mentioned in the policy. So we need persons with disability to be brought into the table, on the table, and to be able to work on some of these policies to be able to include them on the policy. That is one in terms of policy. And then secondly, in terms of early warning systems, should be put in place that will be inclusive and will be accessible to persons with disability. Early warning systems in terms of climate disaster. If climate disaster is coming, a deaf person, for instance, a person that is deaf may not actually hear a sound. And the person that is blind may not actually see the warning. So there should be a system that will be able to cater for these two sets of people in place as well. And I also advocate that persons with disability have like a network, just like this network for women with disability, have a bigger and broader network that will be able to collaborate and also monitor what they have been doing so that they have evidence-based advocacy when they meet with government or people who can actually provide climate solutions to them.
Atonda Babatunde, GTV Africa.